All right, what's up, Jose? Sorry I'm a little late. All right, so we got a couple of you guys on. All right, so what we're going to do today, we're going to move on. Now we're going to be talking about the muscular, okay? And it also goes with, how are you, Evelyn? It also goes with the skeletal system, okay? Can everyone hear me? I'm going to be writing down the stuff on the board, but I want you guys to be able to kind of hear me if I stay out of the way. How are you, Khalees? How are you, Brian? All right, so before we get into the muscular system, which I haven't posted the notes yet online, I'm going to post it after this video. I want to review a little bit of the skeletal and the joints, okay? So if we didn't have any bones in our bodies, what would our bodies be? I'm good, Evelyn. Hope everyone's good as well. So if we didn't have bones in our body, we didn't have a skeletal system, what would happen? We would be wobbly, right? We wouldn't be moving around, okay? The skeletal system is able to move all over the place, okay? It keeps our body upright, especially for us. What is the part in our back that protects our organs? We would be jelly. Yep, Evelyn, that's a good word too. And I see you wrote it too, Jose. All right, the rib cage, yes, but what about the part on our back? It runs up and down your back. Really important. Bone. It's a bunch of bones that are put together. The spinal cord, good. The spinal cord is inside of it. So what's around it? Spinal cord's in. So basically you have your spinal cord, right? So I'm going to make it blue. And then what you have is you have all these different locks of bones around it. And the spinal cord actually goes through it and it keeps it safe. Let's see if you guys can find it. Who remembers? Nope, but those are other parts of our body that is protected by our skeletal system. And it does keep your body solid. Yep. So let me see. I'm going to open up last week's PowerPoint. Brian, you're on the right track. It does start with a V. Who remembers it starts with a V? Close. All right, I'll complete it for you, right, Brian? So it is the vertebrae. Okay, so the vertebrae runs up and down your back. Okay, it protects your spinal cord because your spinal cord runs all along your back. Right, you got to really protect your spinal cord because if your spinal cord gets damaged, right, that's how sometimes you have people that are handicapped from the waist down because they have spinal cord. If it gets hurt, down low, then they have no longer power of their motor functions, which we're going to learn about with their legs. Now, if you end up hurting your neck, all right, which has the spinal cord up there too, connecting to your brain, all right, that's when you lose all movement of your entire body. So the spinal cord is very important. And the vertebrae is a bunch of little bones that connect together that keep your spinal cord nice and safe. Okay. One of the other things I want to talk about, we have two different types of joints. Okay. We have movable joints and we have non-movable joints. So really quick, the 4 different movable joints that we have. All right, we have the hinge joint. We have our ball and socket. We have our pivot. And then we have our gliding. Okay, so right now, I'm going to go over a couple examples of it. Me cracking my knuckles. What type of joint, movable joint am I doing? Or if I was to crack my ankles. Do you guys remember what type of joint that is? If I'm looking at my knuckles, right? And I'm moving them. Close, not the pivot. So if you look carefully at your knuckles, right, and you push them together, it's almost like they're going on top of each other. So that's going to be the gliding, okay? So that's when you're moving your knuckles, okay? So the gliding is knuckles, and then also some bones in your ankles. If I could spell, I'm thinking of math right now. All right. So that's the gliding. Now, what about this next one with your elbow? All right. Where you can only move your elbow one way. Same thing with your leg. You can only use with your knee. You can always move your leg back one way. That's the hinge, right? Think of it with your door, okay? A door to the bedroom, a door to one of the rooms in your house, it can only move one way. Yes, there are some doors that swing both ways, but most doors in the house or even in a store, right? It's either a push or a pull because those hinges that are on the door, they only move one way. And that's the same with the joint in your body, okay? So a hinge is your elbow and your knee, all right? Now, the next one is located in your neck. It allows you to twist your neck back and forth, okay? You're able to go like this. You're able to go up and down. But the main purpose of it is to able to go back and forth like this because the bones are setting on top of each other. That's a pivot. Good. So this is located in your neck. And it's also located in your ankle. All right. You're able to move your foot in a way, not all the way back, but it's able to move side to side. Okay. Now the ball and socket. All right. Where do we see the ball and socket? Do you guys remember? It gives you full motion in the arm, but where specifically in your arm? Not the elbow. The elbow is the hinge, right? Because you can only move the elbow back and forth. I'll give you a clue, right? Here's my arm. I'm able to move it back and forth like this. I'm able to move it up. I'm able to have it by my side. The shoulder, good. Now, where's another place that you might see that? The hip, good. The hip can basically move the same way that the shoulder does, right? You can move your whole leg back. You can move it up. You can spread it out. You can go to the side, okay, depending on your flexibility. But it's able to give you full rotation exactly like your shoulder, okay? If we didn't have a ball and socket in our hips, we would have very little movement. All right, so perfect. So remember, these are the 4 types of movable joints, all right? So I'm going to get rid of this now. And then I'm going to go to the next PowerPoint slide that I'm going to post right after this video, okay? So now we're going to talk about muscles, all right, and how it relates with the skeletal system. So basically, muscles, right, they are organs that move the body parts, okay? So that's basically the thing. They move body parts. This is very important, okay? Because you need muscles in order to move. If you ever break anything, right, and if you're in a cast for a couple of months and then you get that cast off, your muscles are a lot less than what they were when they started. So you have to get your muscles back to get full motion back into for your skeletal system to move, okay? Bones and joints have no power to move on their own, all right? Your skeletal system, if you were just a skeletal system with no muscles, you would not move, okay? Now, you have about 600 muscles in your body, okay? And basically, your body mass, so let's say you weigh 100 pounds, you have 35 to 40% of that is muscle, okay? Of your body mass is muscle. That's if you're 100 pounds. You would have 35 to 40 pounds of muscle. Now, if you work out, you're able to increase that and increase your muscle mass, okay? Khalees, we're actually going to do nerves later, so that we're gonna go through all the parts. Right now, we're just doing muscles, okay? If we weighed 85, you would have to do the math to find the percent, okay? All right, so basically what I want to go through is you have two different types of muscle groups, okay? You have voluntary, and then you have involuntary. So just like the joints, okay, you have movable and non-movable joints. Now you have voluntary and involuntary muscles, okay? So the voluntary muscles, this is what you can control. All right? The involuntary, you can't control. So who wants to give me an example? What do you think a voluntary muscle is? What do you think you're able to move on your own? Can you guys see the board okay? Khalees just did an emoji of it. What did she end up moving in her emoji? All right, if you can move your ears, that's one of them. But that's if you can move them, like wiggling, right? So you got ears. If you can move them, of course. You got your arms. What else? Legs. Okay. Good. So you got your ears, your arms, your legs. Those are muscles that you move on your own. All right. If you want to kick a soccer ball, you're going to end up kicking a soccer ball using your leg muscles. Now, what do you think involuntary? Your hand, good. Right? You can move your hand, your fingers. So now involuntary, what do you think? What type of muscles in your body can you not control? How does You might have learned this in elementary school. How does blood move in your body? What pumps your blood all over your body? And if you're not sure, don't worry, we're going to get into that too. The heart, okay? So you have muscles around your heart that pumps it. Okay? Think about it. Any of you right now have to think to pump your heart, or does your heart just do it on its own? Your heart's able to pump by itself. So basically, your heart pumping by itself, that's involuntary, okay? You don't have to tell your body to pump your heart. Yeah, I don't have it to where you can comment after the live. Sorry, guys. But if you guys have iPhones, you guys can always FaceTime in a group. But do not put your numbers on this because then anyone can see them, all right? Okay. So that's voluntary and involuntary. Does anyone have any questions on that so far? All right. I'm going to go to the next stuff, okay? So you have three different types of muscles, okay? You have your skeletal muscles. So the skeletal muscles, that's the most in your body, all right? They attach to your bones by tendons, okay? They're voluntary. They contract quickly and easily, but they tire easily, okay? So think about your muscles, right? If you're, let's say you're doing push-ups, you're able to move them fast, but then after a while, you will start to tire out, okay? Now, the next one you have is smooth muscle. All right, this is found in the walls of the stomach, the intestines, all right? They contract and relax slowly. So if you eat something, your stomach moves and it's got a smooth inside where it's contracting, it's breaking down that food, all right? Now, they don't tire out as fast as the skeletal muscles. And then your last set of muscles, okay, is your cardiac muscle. So the cardiac muscles, they move involuntary, all right? They can contract 70 times per minute. That's your heartbeat, okay? Now, if you have a really low heartbeat, it's still continuously working. And the good thing about the cardiac muscles is they don't tire out, because if they tired out, your heart would stop pumping, okay? And that would be really bad for you guys. right? So this is all I wanted to go through today. I'm going to post the video in the PowerPoint right after this, okay? And then a couple of questions. Does anyone have any questions so far, though? What if you ran a lot of your part? So that's increasing your heart rate, okay? That's using your cardiac muscles. But remember, so Brian, if you're running, eventually you're going to get tired, right? So your skeletal system, that's your muscles that are moving your legs, but after a while they're going to tire out. Your cardiac muscle, all right, is always pumping. It's going to increase to move blood around your body, which we're going to get to when we learn about the heart. But it's never going to tire out. It might have to pick up the speed when you're exercising, but the good thing about the cardiac muscle is it's not going to tire out. So you're able to still use blood into your muscles that need the energy, right? It goes all back to our other thing where we always need energy. We need to eat to get energy, and it helps us do exercises, okay? All right, guys. That's all I have for today, okay? Does anyone have any questions so far? All right, I'll see you guys later.